So you mentioned earlier, and I want to come back to that, of there's like a equivalent role in Germany that's kind of like the precursor to the chief of staff. I'm wondering if you could talk about that.
So, um, what is the how do I translate? So it's if you typically you have your CEO who might have office manager staff to help organize the day, the calendar, very administrative types of tasks. And then there's a role called Referent der Geschäftsleitung is the German, right? Somebody will listen and be like, "Oh, I understand that word," but it's it's effectively it's effectively a what's the best translation? It's like an executive assistant in what the actual words are supposed to mean. So not just a administrative assistant, but somebody who can take on a project, for example. You say, "Oh," and it can be anything from organize the next Christmas thing to we're trying to do a new, I need somebody who understands AI better than I do. Please, become the experts in this topic and then give me information and prepare slide decks and also so high level support, if you will. And the main difference to a Americanized version of a chief of staff is that it is very clear this person is a direct report to the manager and doesn't have any powers, so to speak, within the remainder of the organization. Whereas a chief of staff can be the free radical that is flying around and has no allegiance to anyone, but
Love that.
aside from the company, right? If you do it correctly, that's what it's supposed to be. As I would say, is yes, you get hired by someone, you work for a specific person, but you're supposed to not have one-to-one allegiance. It should be a little bit unclear where in the org chart your name is supposed to appear, and a little bit unclear and shadowy what you're precisely working on, because that's just where I feel a great chief of staff would live and be most effective.
Okay, so this, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the German word, but the
Yeah, yeah.
the
The assist.
assistant to
Let's
the
call it the
executive.
assistant.
Yeah, the assistant. I'm not going to call it an EA because I'll get confused. But like when you're assisting the executive or the executive assistant in that pure sense of the word, it's a little bit more clear and defined, and it's well known.